Hello everyone! Welcome back to ELA Prep. Today we're going to be reviewing Ethos, Pathos, and Logos. So very important topic on how to persuade your audience. This is how arguments usually work. Like you need to use these for your argument to work. So remember, if you do end up enjoying this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, please make sure to comment down below. I will make sure to answer those questions the best way I could. Anyways, let's get straight into this video. So first, before we get into specifically ethos, pathos, and logos, so what are rhetorical appeals? So rhetorical appeals are strategies authors use to persuade their audience. They help make arguments more convincing, right? The three main types are ethos, pathos, and logos. Each one appeals to the audience in a different way. So what's important here is that persuasion isn't just about having a good idea. However, it's about how you word or how you present that idea or that argument of yours. So different audiences actually respond differently, right, to different approaches, which makes sense, right? So some are convinced by facts, right? So that would be logos. Others by emotion, pathos, and others by trust, so ethos, right? So that's why audience use different types of appeals depending on what they're trying to achieve. Alright, so now we're gonna take a little bit of a dive into these three rhetorical appeals, see how they're different, how they're similar, and how they are used to build up an argument. So, first, ethos, which is otherwise known as credibility. So, ethos refers to the author's credibility or trustworthiness. So, this could include experience, expertise, and reputation. If the audience trusts the speaker, they're more likely to believe the argument. So, think of ethos, right? Like asking yourself, why should I believe in this person? Why should I believe in this presenter, right? So if the author seems very unreliable, seems like they don't know what they're talking about, a good argument, even if it is a good argument, could feel very weak, unconvincing, right? It's not gonna really, you're not gonna believe in them, right? So, however, when the speaker shows that they actually have knowledge on their topic or even experience, the audience becomes a lot more open to what they're saying. They trust in the author more, right? So ethos is really about building that trust even before the argument fully develops, right? You need to have credibility or that trust in the audience for you to convince them, right? Or else the argument simply does not work, right? Alright, next, pathos, otherwise known as emotion. So pathos appeals to the audience's emotions. Writers use emotional language to make readers feel something. This can include happiness, sadness, anger, or fear. Emotional appeals can make arguments more powerful. So pathos works by influencing how the audience feels, right? Not just what they think. And emotions are very powerful. They can influence our opinions on multiple topics. Whether it could be like sports, it could even be like politics, which is these appeals also serve for, politicians, right? That's how they get a lot of followers. Right? These politicians, they appeal to logic, they appeal to emotion, and they also appeal to credibility. Or they establish their credibility, my bad. So when people feel strongly about something, they're more likely to take action or even agree with the point, right? Before maybe even looking at it logically. Which is why you got some blind followers of random people. That's because they're very good at appealing to emotion. Alright, lastly we have logos, otherwise known as logic. So logos appeals to logic and reasoning. So writers use facts, statistics, and clear reasoning. Logos helps prove that an argument actually makes sense. It is based on evidence and logical thinking. So logos It's where the argument becomes structured, right? It's where the argument is provable, and it's where you show that your argument isn't just an opinion, it actually has logic behind it, right? You're not blind believing on something, right? So even if an argument actually sounds convincing emotionally, a lot of people will still kind of want to know if it actually makes sense, right? Logos will provide that. Logos provides that by showing clear connections, right? It's connections between ideas, and you back them up with actual evidence. So, you've got a lot of people that just blindly follow someone. Right, but not every person is like that. So if you truly want your argument to be convincing to all audiences, you need to use logic. So let's take a little bit of a practice. Let's see if you've learned things through this presentation. Alright, so this is a sample. A commercial shows sad animals to encourage donations. So which appeal is being used here? When you're analyzing something like this, focus on what the creator is actually trying to make you feel or think, right? So in this case, the goal is clearly pathos, right? It's clearly emotional. They want the audience to feel sad, so they donate, right? The key word there is sad. That's an emotion, and that basically already gives it away. That's why this is a very strong example of pathos, which is one of the most common techniques when you in marketing or in advertising, right? You've got to get the audience to feel something so they truly believe you or they truly want to take action. Alright, so that's it. Quite short, but quite an effective lesson as well. Thank you so much for watching this. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and again, in case you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Any suggestions, please do that. Well, yeah, if you could apply these three rhetorical appeals to real life, please do. They're very effective. They work extremely well, and this can actually guarantee a lot of points if you're ever writing like a rhetorical analysis essay, right? You could use as one of your main reasons that the author appeals to emotion, logic, and establishes their credibility. That serves perfectly. And my goal in this lesson is to help you be able to identify these rhetorical appeals in your actual essay, right? Or in your actual day-to-day argument, right? Maybe some of you guys aren't actually students, which is fine, by the way. So, yeah, if you truly enjoyed, be sure to follow back, right? And, well, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye!